What a week. First, the Bob Woodward book and the denials by Donald Trump regarding the sourcing of many of the anecdotes that are laid out in
blanket dismissals, blanket denials.
And now this op-ed piece. What would be the motivation for such an
Washington's biggest parlor game?
We know there's infighting, right, within the Trump White House.
We've known it through a series of books. We've known it.
Why would you pen that? Why would you pen that?
Why would you do it? Well, you know what? There was one guy. There's really only one guy, maybe a couple of others know the identity of this author. His name is James Dow. He is the op-ed page editor of the New York Times. And the funniest thing is the New York Times reporters on the news side, they don't know the identity. So they've been involved in this whole game of having to interview the op-ed page editor. And so one of the reporters there today, Michael Barbaro, interviewed Jim Dow and asked him exactly that question. He said, James, you know the identity. Why did this guy do it? What was his motive? Was it a call to action for fellow Republicans? Wake up. This is the time to speak out and stop being these quislings. Was it to reassure, to comfort Americans that don't worry, even if you think Donald Trump is, as I wrote in this letter, immoral, dangerous, all this, we have your back. We're keeping the ship on a straight course. Or is it because he has some personal issues, he wants to atone? He feels complicit and guilty. This is about him trying to sort of make himself feel better. The answer, and there is no answer, but the speculation, I guess, what Jim Dow said, the guy who knows the identity, the op-ed page editor, says, well, first of all, this guy was probably at a breaking point. He's probably gone through a lot of reflection. He probably thought that the time was ripe right now, that things had started to get, in his view, dangerously off track. That is in the view of this author at the White House, and that it was time for him. He had a need to come out and say what was on not only his mind, Francois, but other people's mind. What's interesting is he does say in the letter, he's not anti-Trump. He's not anti-Trump administration. He, in fact, supports, he wants the Trump administration to be successful, but he sees this as a dangerous, immoral, ineffective president, as we've heard. And so they want to make sure that he can keep a steady course, a straight course. So basically, this is in the name of trying to reassure Americans, but say, we have your back. We're trying to keep this ship straight. And he doesn't see this as a game-changing event necessarily, this letter, because he intends to stay there.
Okay, so two questions. Number one, when you've read it,
absolutely,
does it seem like, because people are saying, oh, it's got to be from someone very senior. Does it, when you read it, you get that sense that it can only be from someone very senior?
Well, look, I'm going to stay right on the fence. I'm not getting off the fence and speculating.
You're not sure?
No, I don't. No one knows, Francois. This is the amazing thing about it. Everyone's involved in this guessing game, right?
Right.
Is it Ivanka? Is it James Mattis, the defense secretary? Is it Mike Pompeo, who's denied it? Was it John Kelly, the White House chief of staff, who we constantly hear is on the outs with Donald Trump? He could leave at any minute. Well, he apparently isn't. The thing is, what's remarkable about this is it's like a game of Clue. Colonel Mustard in the parlor with the candlestick. It could be anyone. There's a list of literally dozens, maybe 100. No one knows. Yes, you have all of your best forensic linguists in Washington right now going over the wording and the patterns and the cadence. They will out the guy or the woman, whoever it is. They will out this person. This name is not going to remain anonymous for long. You'll remember Primary Colors, the book about the Clinton campaign, 1992 Clinton campaign back in the 90s. That was written by Anonymous, in quotes. The author came out. They saw some handwriting in the margins of a manuscript. The Washington Post, I think it was, went to work on it. They found out it was a guy named Joe Klein, a journalist in Washington. This guy will be outed. This woman will be outed, whoever it is.
In the case of Watergate, it took decades.
But what's remarkable here, and I'll say it again, is that there are so many plausible suspects. And I will reiterate that what was in this piece, the person says he or she is not just speaking for themselves, but is echoing the views of a lot of people within the Trump administration.
Douglas Herbert, many thanks for that.